chiquititos. So, ahora vamos a explicar el proyecto para capítulo 8. This is going to be your proyecto for capítulo 8. Working with the vocabulary. We're going to, every chapter from now on out, we're going to have some kind of a project at the beginning to try to take all the vocab we've memorized, we shove it in our brain, right? Memorize them all, barf it all out on a quiz, and then you forget it all, yes? So we're going to try to, after we take the vocab quiz, do some kind of a project that incorporates it and makes it a little bit more real-time for you. And the way this project is set up, it's supposed to be, you can kind of make it, as long as you follow the requirements on the rubric, you can do whatever you want to do, okay? So we're practicing with what kind of vocabulary this chapter? Food. We're working on food vocabulary, yes. So the obvious thing is to do a menu, right? The obvious thing is to do a menu. And I have several examples of menus that people have done from the past up here. And some people really get into that and they do a really nice job. Okay, so we have lots of ideas in menu. That is certainly the first thing that you can do, and you're welcome to look at my examples. But other things that we came up with, I want to maybe introduce a little bit of variety and make it personal to you. You could do a food pyramid, una piramida de comida, yes. Okay, and this person last year, next time you get your homework checked off, if you look up here, this person last year made their food pyramid, but they made it three-dimensional. And so every side of the shape has a different side of the food pyramid, right? So that would be an idea for you. Una receta. What do you think una receta is? Close. It looks like receipt, but it's not. Una receta. Una receta, si quieres cocinar un plato, pero no sabes los ingredientes, necesitas una receta. What is una receta?
A recipe.
A recipe. A recipe. So you could pick any kind of dish. It could be a Spanish dish, or it could be one that your family makes, and you write a recipe and include the food in there. That could be fun. We have un anuncio para el mercado. One thing that we're going to be using is realia. I think this is like the best part of Spanish, is seeing Spanish in real life, right? What's the point of all of these words that we learn in class and then we never ever see them out in public, right? But then after Spanish 1, when you see lavar los manos con jabón, then you go to the bathroom, right, out in public, and you're like, oh, lavar los manos, it means wash your hands, yeah? Okay, so what I have here for you are grocery ads from Spain. I used to go steal them off the porches of all the other apartments that weren't using them. And then I'd haul them home. Yeah, this is why my suitcases are so heavy. I have pizza ads. There's a ton of vegetables on here, on the pizza ads. So you can make an announcement for your restaurant. You could have a restaurant and like try to get your dishes out there. I have flyers. Let's see, that one is a house one. I have flyers from Carrefour, which is like kind of a supermarket in Spain. So you can look at the grocery ads. There's just a whole bunch of different things, yes? This one, La Compra, how to enjoy your summer in the most refreshing way. And these are the foods that they recommend for that. Okay, so you have that as an option. Those are all resources that you can use. So you can make your own. Hey, in the middle of winter, when I am like totally bumming, here's my comfort food. And you can make a list of all of the comfort food to survive winter, yeah? Okay, other ideas that we had. You could do una lista de compras. Una lista de compras. What is una lista de compras? A shopping list para una cena importante. For an important dinner. Muy bien. Or you could pretend you're having a party. Okay, I'm having a party. And you could sort it out, your grocery list, right? Los entremeses. Here's what I need to buy for los entremeses, for the appetizers I'm going to have. Okay, el plato principal. Here's the ingredients I need to buy for that, right? And you can make yourself like a little shopping list with pictures, okay? Now, this one was pretty funny. I had one of these last year, and it was by far definitely the most original project and the coolest one. We were kind of being a little bit sarcastic in here. Where? Us? Okay, we were being a little sarcastic, and we were making fun of the famous people who tweet everything that they eat, or the Facebook posts that I get from my friends that are like, my kids had peanut butter and jelly for lunch, and I'm like, great, why do I care about this? Yes. So we got a little bit sarcastic, and they made a Twitter account for a famous person, like a Twitter post of everything they ate that day. So you could be Paris Hilton and be like, oh, I'm Paris Hilton then for breakfast. she had this and this and this, and for lunch she had this and this and this. She really wanted this, but she didn't have it. Yeah, so you can make a little Twitter post about it. Who you ate with, where you ate, what you ate. Yeah?
Is it on actual Twitter and we show the class?
No, you could make a mock Twitter post kind of thing. Yeah, no, you don't actually have to quote it. I wouldn't even know how to find it on your Twitter feed. I'm not going to lie. No. Yeah, you don't have to do that. Anybody have other ideas? Actually, should I explain the requirements and then ask that, maybe? Okay, so requirements. Here's the thing that no matter what you do, if you follow this rubric, you will pass the assignment, okay? If you complete the things on the rubric. So, everybody should have a rubric. If you don't have a rubric, this is available on my website. It'll be in the Chapter 8, Paquete de Recursos, that I'm still putting together, but it'll be up there hopefully by the end of this week, okay? So, el proyecto incluye el nombre en español y tu apellido. Número uno, what do you have to have? Your name in Spanish and your apellido. Last name, exacto. Okay, número dos, 40 palabras de vocabulario de Leccion 8. Okay, I know this seems like a lot, 40 vocabulary words from lesson 8, but I think they gave you like 175. It feels like, or 150. So 40 out of 150, I think you guys can get there, yes? Okay, but to help me out when I correct this, I do want you to number them on your project. And you can just put little teeny tiny numbers in the middle of your menu all over, but that will help me a lot. Peyton. Eso no vale, por favor. Número 3. What does it say on número 3, Tyler?
5 palabras nuevas.
What? ¿Qué?
Sorry, 5 palabras.
5 palabras nuevas. Okay. And where are you going to get these palabras nuevas?
Food advertisements.
From these advertisements in class, or the announcements, or the sale flyers. Okay. You're going to get 5 new words. Now, the 5 words don't have to be 5 foods. I think it's really cool sometimes to learn the lingo. El precio más bajo en Carrefour. The lowest price here at Carrefour. Like, what are the little announcement lingos that they use to get you to buy things? You know, here, blue light special. What are the things that what are the little announcement vocabulary? So 5 vocab words, and what do you have to do on the rubric? Write them on the rubric and define. What's the point of knowing when you're like, oh, I didn't know this word, and just wrote it down. Make sure you know what it means, yes? Okay, número 4. Incluye vocabulario de cada categoría. Use the vocabulary from each of the following 9 categories, and you must label the categories somewhere on your project in Espanol. If you don't want, depending on what kind of project, if you do a Twitter account and it doesn't really fit in there to do it, if you want to, on the rubric, you could list them on the rubric, tell me what the categories are, and tell me what food you used from that. You could also do that if you don't want to actually put it on your food pyramid. Other ideas, you could do your ideal food for a week. You can make a diet for yourself. Oh my gosh, if I got to pick every meal my mom cooked this week, here's what we would have. Or I would cook, whatever. Yeah, right? Yes? And then we have contenido y precisión. Now, all of this rubric at the bottom is student-generated. Okay? Last year, my students, they took this project and they decided what should be graded and how it should be graded. So hopefully you'll find that this is a pretty student-friendly rubric and pretty straightforward. But the idea is that you guys should be able to grade your own, essentially. You guys should be able to grade your own before you turn it into me. So when we look at content and precision, I feel like that to get a 5, there are less than 3 errors on the whole thing. If you have the vocab in your book, there's no reason to spell it wrong, right? So be very, very careful when you're copying things over. Okay, so to get a 5, you have to have less than 3 grammar errors. For 4, less than 6. For 3, less than 9, etc., etc. Okay, attractive and creative. This is a really hard thing to judge, right? Especially as a teacher, it's super subjective, right? Oh, you're a great artist. I know really easily what an A looks like, and I know really easily what an F looks like, but everything in between is like a little hard to measure, yes? So here's how we measured it last year. We made it measurable. To get a 5, el diagrama tiene un formato exceptionally atractivo y una idea original. And an idea that is original. Hay más de 9 fotos or dibujos. There are more than 9 photos or drawings. Con muchos colores que indican el significado. with lots of colors that help to indicate the meaning of everything, you know. You could categorize it by meals, and each of your 3 meals is a different color. You could categorize it by what food group products belong to, and categorize it that way. You could categorize it by price, okay? But there needs to be some kind of organization. A 3, which would be your C, right? A 3, el diagrama tiene un formato atractivo y incluye el mínimo de 9 fotos or dibujos. Tal vez no hay color or shading. And when I said color or shading, because some people really put a lot of effort into shading, and so that would equally count. Remember, you don't have to be an artist. I made it through 12 years of school without being an artist. Okay, you can go home this weekend, get the ads, and cut out the ads from those and glue them onto your project, right? If you don't want to draw, find the food somewhere else, and that way you don't have to print it and waste ink, right? Don't cut up my ads. I can't go get new ones anytime soon, okay? So be very careful with these, please. And then organization and presentation. Let's look at a 5. El formato del diagrama es muy claro y la información está muy bien organizada. ¿Qué significa? Really organized, okay, and very claro. What do you think claro is? Clear, exactly. And the information is well organized, okay. La escritura es fácil leer.
Easy to read.
What is la escritura?
The writing.
The writing, aka your handwriting. Okay, I should not be sitting there trying to decipher las uvas and what it means, right? Se puede entender toda la información. One could, that's that say, remember that general say? I didn't say you can understand everything, I said one could. Se puede entender toda la información de una manera eficaz. You can very efficiently understand all of the information. Hay mucha elaboración. Okay, remember, to get a 5, to get an A, you need to go above and beyond the prerequisites. Okay? Any preguntas about this? And any other ideas of how you could do this project if you didn't want to do one of the ones we mentioned before?
You can do like a nutrition label, right?
A nutrition label for a product, possibly? Especially if it was like a soup or something where it would include lots of different ingredients. Okay, nutrition labels. What else?
Cooking show.
Oh! Wow, you do a cooking show and record yourself, that would be serious extra
I was thinking
credit.
like just taking a bunch of cardboard stuff, making like a stove and like a fake
And then you put all of the ingredients into your sopa. You could totally do that. That would be major extra credit. Yeah, yep, the fake food. Absolutely. Any other ideas? Questions? Any questions or concerns?
Due date?
Is this like present?
Huh?
Due date?
Okay, due date, I still have not got through all the Cuba projects, so I would like you to have 1 weekend at least, too, in case people need time, and you're going to get 2 days, 2 partial days in class. I do want you to bring everything by tonight, you need to decide what you're going to do, okay? Because tomorrow, when you have time in class, I want you to actually be working on it and starting on it, okay? Another thing I had thought of is like those budgeting things, where I could say, okay, you have 50 euros, you have 50 euros, and you need to plan food for a day for a family of 4. And so then you could give me the prices of all the food that you're going to buy and how you're going to feed them a family of 4 for a day. Yeah? That's a lot of money. I gave you a really big budget. Yeah. Yes? Okay. The due date, let's do next Wednesday. Is that reasonable? Does that give you plenty of time to do a good job on this?
Is that before?
Does that?
Yeah, see.
Yes, because Sunday is Super Bowl first.
Okay, good. She knows. Wednesday?
Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. Any other questions?
What's the back for? Is that for like?
Okay, good question. Oh my gosh, I forgot the most important part. Okay, so on the back, this was part of my pro teach last year. I had to jump through all these hoops to show that I was a good teacher. But I'm not going to lie, I learned too. I would never want to admit that, but I totally did. And one thing that we did was a gallery walk. Gallery walk. We learned that we don't know very well how to give constructive criticism and receive constructive criticism in school. How many of you guys on your Cuba project showed it to somebody else before you turned it in and said, hey, what do you think? Should I improve this? Anything you... Or your reflexive project, when you made your little books, how many of you showed it to somebody else and said, hey, will you check and see if I have any spelling errors? Hey, is there anything that you would change on that? Did anybody do that?
I did.
You did? A couple?
Well, with you.
Okay, think about the quality of the project. This is the same as these assignments. I come to you and say, okay, this was my idea. What do you think we should do, right? And when you guys give me your input, we always end up with a better project. Okay, it's the whole two brains are better than one. So what we're going to do is when you guys turn in all these projects, we're going to have a gallery walk, and you guys are going to get to go around and look at everybody's gallery, and then we're going to have a vote, and you get to vote on your favorite project. The top 5 winners will all get homework passes, and it'll be a varying number of homework passes depending on what they got voted. Okay, whether you took 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. You guys are going to do a gallery walk, and then we're going to practice giving and receiving constructive criticism. And before we do that, we'll definitely have some instruction on how to do that because we need some. Okay, we can't just assume that we have communication skills. So we'll work on that after we turn in the project Wednesday. And so we'll probably do actually let's do this Thursday due date then, and then gallery walk on Friday. Does that work? Next Friday we'll do the gallery walk? Bien? Thursday. Yep, I'll give you one more day. Do Thursday, gallery walk on Friday. Bien? Preguntas? Okay, adios.